Oh, hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cardwell's Cauldron. Here, I'm with Kevin.
What's up? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cardwell. And today, we're going to go through a little special deck today. I'm not sure if it's going to win, but it's very fun. And I have to build it. It's one of these decks I'm like, I have to build this deck, and hopefully it makes out. It is Abzan Black-White Splash Green for a little special dude. And of course, the name of the deck is called Enchantment. Now, if you play Dragon Age Origins, you'll love it. If not, you'll be very confused. But besides that, let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first guy, Satyr Enchanter. The only guy in the deck, actually. When I saw this in the review slot that we did, I fell in love with him. He's amazing. So it costs 1 green and a white for a 2/2 Satyr Druid. Whenever you play an enchantment spell, you draw a card. Not an aura, but an enchantment.
Yeah.
And this is where the fun begins.
Yeah, when you cast an enchantment. So it doesn't even have to come into play. You just
cast enchantment and draw a card. Cool, I counter, cool. It can trip this. Now, of course, game 1, they're probably going to kill all the satyrs you have, but hopefully your enchantments get there. so let's do it.
Never thought you'd hear that phrase, but it is what it is.
Alright. Tell us about this first guy that we both hate, but we have to use.
Alright, so the first one we got is Arguel's Bloodfast. It's 2 mana for a legendary enchantment. You pay 2 life, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform it.
Now, of course, we'll never be transforming it unless we need that extra mana late game or something. But
yeah,
with this, if they kill Satyr Druid, you might as well do it.
Yeah.
And when it flips, of course, it adds 1 swamp to your mana pool. And if you can sacrifice a creature and you gain life equal to that creature's mana cost, which might not happen depending on what we do.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will see with that. But also another note, I've always loved bleeder decks. Like, that's one of my secret things that I love. And this is what I'm trying to recur with this deck.
Yeah.
The next one, also another enchantment, is Silhouette. 2 drop enchantment, flash, enters the battlefield, exile a target tap creature the opponent controls. Just simple early game control.
The next one we got, Torment of Hailfire. It's one of the best ways to win in this deck.
Yes.
2 black and X. Repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card.
Yeah. This is completely hard control, so hopefully through everything else, you just go search this up and be like, alright, can we end this or not?
Yeah.
And a trial here that no one ever uses, which I thought was going to be fun. Trial of Ambition, costs 2, 1 colorless black. Enchantment. Enters the battlefield, target opponent sacrifices a creature. So early game, just get rid of a dude real quick.
Yeah.
If you play a cartouche and enters the battlefield, you put it back to your hand, but that's not going to happen this game.
Yeah, we don't have cartouches.
No. Alright, the next one. Gideon the Trials. Might as well have something powerful in here, right?
Yeah.
So a 3-drop Planeswalker, 1 white. +1 till end of turn, prevent all damage. Target permanent. Whatever you target. Target permanent does. So any permanent, any land that might deal damage, any enchantment that deals damage, just anything. His 0 ability, he becomes a 4/4 indestructible, and you just swing in for 4, pretty much. And also, if you pay 0, which has won me the game without a deck before, is that you get an emblem saying as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you don't lose the game. So pretty just powerful Planeswalker overall.
Yeah, he's a good way for you to stay in the game for a while.
Yeah.
Another card that's really good and it can end the game for you is History of Benalia.
Yep.
It's one of the sagas. 2 white, and a colorless. Saga 1st and 2nd, you create a 2/2 white knight with vigilance, and then the 3rd saga, all your knights get +2/+1 until the end of turn.
Just a simple produce dudes. If these are not bad multiples, just like back to back to back, you just have knights, and they'll clog up the board for you, or just swing in when you can.
Yeah,
like just simple little as that. Now this guy, he's a special guy. Profane Procession, 1 white black. Legendary enchantment. You can pay 5, exile target creature. Just straight up, just like late game, get rid of that dude. Then if there are 3 or more cards exiled with Profane Procession, transform it. And it also becomes a land called Tomb of the Dusk Rose. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, which is nice. And then you can pay 4, so 2 black, white. Put a creature card exiled from permanent onto the battlefield under your control. So another type of win, depending on like what you play against.
Yeah, so you can steal their big dude and play it,
Yep.
or you can sacrifice it to a Bloodfast if you have that. It's just how you do it.
And it's just like, it's really good in multiples as well. We only have, I do believe I put 2 in the deck, but if you run out of dudes and you play the other one, you start exiling more. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Next up, we got Thopter Arrest, which is a white and 2 enchantment. When it comes into play, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until Thopter Arrest leaves the battlefield.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've say pass go and then they play a hard Quran or whatever, and then they play Galta the next turn. So like, Thopter Arrest immediately gets rid of that stupid vehicle.
Yeah.
Next one, of course, is just Cast Out. It's an enchantment that you can draw cards off of. Pay 4, flash, exile non-land permanent until this leaves the battlefield, and then cycling for 1 if need be.
Yeah. So we got Mastermind's Acquisition, which is your like, it's your winning piece.
Kind of, yeah.
4 mana, you search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your library, or you can get one from your sideboard and put it into play, or put it in your hand. But it's mostly there to search your deck for whatever card you need to help win you the game.
Yeah. Hopefully you slow the opponent down, like you will them away to be like, alright, let's go to get Torment of Hailfire. Or one of my favorite enchantments ever made, Torment of Scarabs. Because we have 4 in the deck, and he's also the other reason why I made this deck, with the Satyr Wayfinder. So, cost 4, 3 colorless and black. Or a curse, enchant player, at the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, the player loses 3 life, unless he or she sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card, which, I don't know if you know this, but playing this turn 4 devastates the game. Like, I've been playing this card in Arena, not this deck necessarily, but it just wins. Every time I play it turn 4, I just whittle the opponent down until they just scoop.
Like, I've played this playing in one of our deck brawls, and for whatever reason, I always get like 3 of these in my hand. And if you get multiple of these in play, it's so bad for your opponent because they have to choose so many bad choices.
Even a second one just hurts them so much.
Because they're either going to take life or lose something.
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
it's a card in their hand or a dude on play. It's so good in what it can do.
And it's constant upkeep. You don't need to put money or mana into it. No, nothing. It just happens every time.
Yeah.
And sure, they'll take 3 life here and there, but if you have a second one, they're not going to take 6. Like,
yeah, no.
That's just too much per turn.
And then the final enchantment is another saga, the Eldest Reborn. It's a black and 4. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker.
It helps you there.
Saga 2, each opponent discards a card. And at Saga 3, put target creature or enchantment or target creature or planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control.
So, of course, this is hopefully another win condition. You just control the board long enough to where you just take one of their stuff and then you swing for the game. Give me your Teferi, give me your, I don't know, Lyra Dawnbringer, or your Nicol Bolas. I'll flip them. I don't care.
Yeah. This deck looks awesome just because it's enchantments. Like,
it's just silly enchantment fun with Satyr Enchanter. Like I said Wayfinder earlier. I apologize. But for him just to draw you cards off your control pieces, it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Of course, you might not always draw the Satyr, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Alright, so for the lands, they're kind of simple. I mean, we have to have all the colors, so it's kind of a little crazy, but...
Especially with green, even though one card and sideboard has green. And, of course, as always, if you put this deck together, test out the lands and see what comes out.
Yeah.
Because that's what it really needs. So, Blooming Marsh, of course, because it's the black-green, comes into play 3 or less, untap. Concealed Courtyard does the same thing, black-white. We have 1 Evolving Wilds because, just in case, you need to get that 1 forest that you need. Isolated Chapels, Plains, Scattered Groves, and Sunpetal Grove. I have them at 3 each, but I'm pretty sure you can manipulate those.
Yeah.
For sure. Swamp, and then Woodland Cemetery, which I almost wanted to take out and put a Arch of Arasa, I think. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. You pay 5 and you draw a card if you have 7 or if you have Ascend.
Yeah, we'll have it up here, and basically you're gonna have Ascend because you're gonna have so many enchantments and lands. So yeah. I think that'll be a good second one right there.
Sideboard's got a lot of fun options that you can add to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you need for when you need it.
There's too many sets out right now, so sideboard options are like limitless, pretty much.
Yeah. But we do have 3 Duress, Because it's just good against the other control matchup, so you get out what you need.
Just
You
really
get out
is.
their destroy target enchantment, because that's what you're going to be making sure they don't have.
Yeah. And people will be like, well, what about Cleansing Nova? You know, that just says destroy all artifacts and enchantments. And I tell you, I got Tragic Poet here. Tragic Poet. Human, because they're going to get rid of all they kill. They don't see no creatures. 1/1 for 1 white. Sacrifice Tragic Poet, return target enchantment card from the graveyard to your hand. It's as silly as it sounds.
Yeah, just great.
And also, the next Sideboard chord, we have 4 of them. Heroic Intervention. Why? Because it says permanents you control have hexproof and indestructible on the turn. So when they're like Cleansing Nova, you're like Heroic Intervention. Yay!
Yeah, I get to keep my Torment of Scarab on you. Great!
I get to keep all my artifacts. And enchantments.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. It's just silly cuteness.
Alright, next up we got Tocatli Honor Guard. It's a 2 mana for a 1/3. And creatures enter the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger.
Yep. This is more of like with the Grixis matchup, because Nicobolas turn 4, you have to discard a card, really hurts you. This will stop that, and hopefully as well a Torrential Gearhulk comes into play. Yeah. Don't get your instants out of the graveyard. And maybe it can also help with others, but right now it's just against control.
I mean Grixis, if you play Arena, that's all I ever run into on Arena is the Grixis control deck, because it's just everywhere.
And the next one, Trespasser's Curse. This is for your aggro matchup. It's also a enchantment or a curse, 1 colorless, 1 swamp. Enchant player. Creature enter the battlefield under enchanted player's control. I apologize. When a creature enters the battlefield under enchanter's player's control, I don't know why that was so hard to say, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, you know, basically bleeds them whenever they play a bunch of dudes. Because I notice a lot of like cat decks are coming out with a bunch of tokens, so you place this in here to help negate that, hopefully.
Yeah, and the continual bleed on that is gonna be enough life gain for you to not worry about the damage that you're gonna take.
Yep. And also honorable mention, Fumigate, and the card that we just talked about that blows up the board.
Yeah.
Cleansing Nova. Since you only have 1 creature, that's probably the best as well.
I mean, you could always use Settle too.
And sell a wreckage
still
too.
a card.
Yep. So like I said, there's a bunch of just options for Sideboard. These are just like the hallmarks that I can think of at the moment. And of course they're all like 3 and 4, so of course you can whittle those numbers down.
But definitely be on the lookout. We're going to be playing this deck some. If anyone else will, I will for sure, because this deck looks awesome.
It just, for some reason when I look at the list, it looks like it works. Like for some reason I'm like, yeah, I'll just control until I get there. Pretty much. But like we said, during a brawl we'll test it out. And
it's going to be fun to see.
Yep, we'll definitely see. With that, the deck list will be down below. Just let us know what you think about it in the comments. And hopefully you enjoyed your stay here at Geektopia Island. Bye. Be sure to like and comment on the video. And to get our latest and greatest, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. And to get notifications, there's also a little bell that you can hit. Now if you want to look at some old deck tech videos, go ahead and click to the right. And if you want to see them in action, click the videos below. Thank you.